Germany gone.
6 months on, and to many the events succeeding to seem like a bad dream.
Leslie Tiller was fucking murdered!
Hi guys, welcome to episode 82 of LTFM. Today we have a special guest, Drew.
How's it going, guys?
Hi. So I know Drew just from Instagram. I don't know how long I've been following you or we've been following each other. But you just like kind of post like pictures and I just be following people. But you do, what were you saying? It's urban
Uh,
exploration?
yeah, they call it Urbex, yeah, for short.
Yeah.
So
I was Googling
pretty
it.
much, yeah, exactly. There you go. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think I've been doing it since like I want to say 2009. But honestly, even like as a kid, I remember. I mean, you're in Illinois. I'm actually up in Indiana,
Mhm.
but I've been all over like the Midwest. But where I lived at, there was a country club, and there was like a restaurant. It's long gone now.
Mhm.
But that was like my first memory actually was just going with the neighborhood kids, when we were growing up, because it was abandoned for a while, and I can remember going in this restaurant and like jumping from counter to counter because it was like murky, nasty water. Obviously, we did. I swear, I think I probably like slipped in one of my shoes, like fell in or something like that. But that was
Yeah.
like my earliest memory of it. So yeah, I've definitely been doing this a long time.
Wow. How old were you when you first did that?
I mean, let's see. I want to say it had to be like sometime middle school. So I mean, I had to be like 16, 17, something like that, maybe. I'm 37 now, so
Yeah. Okay.
something like that.
Um, how did that make you feel when you did that, like for the first time?
Exhilarating. I mean, obviously, a lot of the times I do this, it's trespassing most of the time. So I mean, I'm kind
Yeah.
of an adrenaline junkie, so
Hmm.
kind of goes hand in hand.
Okay. Wow. So it was just kind of like not really planned out, right? Or did you guys like already know that it was like abandoned and just decided to just go there together one day?
We kind of just like stumbled upon it, and then one thing led to another. And, I'm sure, I don't know if you're familiar with like Tomb Raider and stuff like that, but I'm sure
I
like
know
some
who
of
that lady is.
Lara Croft, yeah. So I,
Yeah.
I was pretty big on that. So I don't know. And Indiana Jones, stuff like that,
Have
growing
you
up,
ever
I'm
come
sure.
in contact with a thing where you had to like take a thing and replace it with something or the whole building was going to explode?
No, not
No,
yet.
not yet. Okay, maybe in the
Possibly
future
coming.
you have to come back
Yeah,
on and let
I'll,
us know.
definitely.
Mm.
So,
Um, that's cool though. I've only gone to like one place before in my life, and it was like some place in Indiana with some one of my friends and her boyfriend or whatever, and they were like, "Oh, we should go here." I don't know. You probably went there before. It was like I don't know, maybe like a hospital or like some kind of a place. I don't fucking know.
and Gary, I'm assuming.
Yeah. It was like a shit kind of
Okay.
neighborhood, right?
Well, yeah, I mean,
I
it's
don't know.
it's
It's
definitely. I mean,
a
they're
lot of
trying
that.
they're trying to turn around. It's definitely been through a lot in the city. I
Yeah.
actually love Gary. I mean, a lot of people are freaked out about it,
Hmm.
this and that, but I've worked a lot in Gary and stuff, so it's different. People, you have to actually like kind of understand and get to know the people. I mean, it was the murder capital in the early '90s. I think like '93 or something like that. So I
Yeah.
mean, I think Chicago took that new title
Yeah, I bet.
nowadays.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, knowing the people, obviously they're still bullshit, but I mean, it's a lot of people coming from Illinois and Chicago, honestly, that are moving to Gary and causing some of the issues from what I gather. But
Yeah.
that's a whole nother topic, obviously. But
Yeah. I was just like, okay, cuz she was like we're going to go there. And I don't know what the fuck they wanted to do there, but I was like, okay, fine. So we went there and I was just like, what do you mean with like I thought it was like, okay, we're going to go there and we're just going to like go on a fence and we're going to be in it. And then they were like, oh, there's this bent little pole thing. We got to get up the pole. And I was like, bro, I don't know how to fucking parkour. I don't know how to do this. And then they were like trying to help me and I was like, I don't want to be touched. And I was freaking out. And then we got in there and I'm like, I'm sweating. I'm freaking out. And it was dark and we had to crawl through like this window and we were downstairs and we were hearing noises. And I was just like, this isn't even fun. Like it was just like I don't know. I had already been drinking and I was like, I don't know. This is too much for me.
Did
But
it
it
have a
was
lot of stories?
yeah. And it
Okay,
was
so it must have
like
been at the St. Mary's Hospital, probably.
yeah, it was something. But I was like, this is not fun. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was because, like, I feel like if I'm going to go somewhere and, like, do some kind of exploring or something, it would have to be with somebody that, like, I'm comfortable with. And, like, this friend I
Yeah.
hadn't seen in, like, 5 years since high school. And then her boyfriend, I was like, I don't even know who you are, but you're always drunk. And it was just like, it was an uncomfortable
Kind of
situation, but I
sketchy.
was like, all right, but I'm here. So let's do it. That's like the
Yeah.
only thing that I've done, but I've wanted to go to like other places, but I'm like, I'm not bringing my chick best friend. Like she's not gonna save me from anything, and I just
Yeah.
like I feel like that's where it ends for me. I guess just like being a girl with it, but like I feel
I get
like
it. I mean,
you know if I was a dude and I had a bunch of guy friends or something, let's go,
no,
fight
I get
me.
it. In my So 2009, I'll backtrack on that, but that was like the next big place I went. And it was
Hmm.
like in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Some kind of like it might have been like an insane asylum or something like that, but it was a long ass drive. That's all I remember. And we had to like vault up a pole, kind of like you were talking about getting in there. And it was really insane, like really interesting. But what I was going to fast forward to was 2012. That's when I really kind of got big into it. It was the ex I was dating at the time. She was kind of into it and kind of got me more into it.
Okay.
And she was crazy. I mean, talking about a female going somewhere on her own, she
Yeah,
used to do it like by herself sometimes, Gary and all that kind of stuff. So,
that's
and
wild.
I've been to some places, like a handful of places. I've been to Detroit by myself. I mean, I've gone to some pretty sketchy places alone, but it's definitely more fun when you go with somebody. I mean, it's obviously you got somebody to have your back, etc. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that hospital you're talking about though, it's definitely one of my, I wouldn't say top favorite, but I mean it's definitely a cool spot. I've been to a handful of times.
Hmm.
I think somebody was actually filming a Resident Evil movie there or something because one of the times we were there, I think I'll have to go through my photos, but I found like flyers for like Raccoon City and like all this fake blood and stuff. Like somebody was definitely doing
Yeah,
like
some
trying
kind
to
of
film a
videos.
zombie movie there, yeah. And a lot of people do
Oh.
photography, obviously, and
Hmm.
I've run into people doing music videos, like rap videos and stuff, and
Yeah.
pretty crazy. Homeless people,
Wow.
obviously,
Oh my God, Bum City, I bet. I
pretty
feel like,
interesting. I've run into people. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, I feel like that would be like the scariest thing for me, like running into other people because, like, they could just be somebody like normal, like you, just like going out exploring, doing whatever. But then it could also be like a bum. They could be on some kind of drugs. They could be like drunk or something. But then
Yeah,
also, what if it's just like a psycho and they're just like, I'm just gonna go in here and wait for somebody so I could kill them? Because you know that there's people out there like
yeah,
that, right? Do you
yeah, and I mean,
ever?
there's dead bodies. I don't know how I never came across any, but some of the places I've been, like later down the road, I've seen articles and stuff of people that dump bodies there, and
Yeah,
pretty crazy. So I've gotten lucky in that aspect, but seen a lot
that.
of dead animals for sure,
Yeah, I bet.
definitely.
Um, how do you think you would react if you were like out by yourself and you ended up finding like a body or something? Like, do you think it would like affect you going to more places after that?
Uh, I
Like,
mean,
let's
I'd
just
probably
say
still
someone
go.
completely decapitated. Let's just say something crazy.
I mean, it definitely, I'm sure it would fuck me up, but I mean, I don't know. I'm the type of person, I don't think it would steer me away, really, because I mean,
Yeah.
shit like that happens, I guess, but
Yeah.
it would definitely fuck me up a little bit, and then obviously, I'd contact the authorities and all that kind of shit, and I'd probably be the number one suspect and all that
Yeah.
good stuff, but
I'd be
yeah,
shook.
that'd be pretty nuts. Be
Yeah.
pretty crazy, yeah. So,
Well, yeah, it's crazy, but I guess like it's good that you haven't found anything like that, but it's just wild cuz like I don't know. I feel like abandoned places, people are like, yeah, we put a body there, and people are always getting killed.
well, I found a lot of interesting stuff though. I found there's this high school on Fifth Avenue in Gary. It's Horace Mann. It's this
Hmm.
huge high school. It's one of my other favorite places. Really cool. But it was one of the times we actually ran into other people doing the same thing we were, so it was kind of cool. We were with like a group of people, and we're walking around the hallways, and we actually found pig fetuses and the frogs like from the science classes,
Yeah.
like just strewn about in the hallways. Like it was insane. Like there was literally
The
just
fuck?
all over the place. So that was
Yeah.
pretty interesting. I found check stubs at a factory one time from like the 1950s. They're all like handwritten check stubs. That was really cool. I actually took some. I have some
Hmm.
that I kept because I thought that was really cool. I found like cool keys. I don't know, you name it, just like random shit. Obviously, I get to see a lot of really cool graffiti
Hmm.
everywhere I go. So
Have you ever found
yeah, no
anything
dead
like
bodies though.
that's good though. Have you ever found any like I guess like weird satanic like seance looking shit like where people had it set up?
Um,
Other than just like,
I mean,
I draw like a pentagram or something other than that.
Well, yeah, I've seen like obviously like some spray paint and shit like that, but I have seen like candles melted and kind of set up in a weird way, not like in any weird shapes, but just kind of like a little fishy. You're like, oh, like what was going on here?
Hmm.
Um, and I do gotta say the one place, because you would think like a lot of these places I go, it's like haunted or something like that, which you never know. I mean, depending on who
Yeah.
believes in that kind of stuff. But I do gotta say the one place that I've been, it's this place in Cedar Lake. Actually, it's in Indiana, not too far from where I'm from,
Hmm.
and it's called Slegians, and it was like a boys' school.
Hmm.
So it was like, I had like a Christian's boys' school or something like that. And my ex and I, we went, this is like years ago. It had to be like 2012, 2013. And that's the one place that I've been where I like felt some like fucked up energy. And we actually heard like, I mean, you could tell the difference between a human and an animal walking through leaves. And it was like fall time, I believe, when we were there.
Hmm.
And we heard like somebody walking, we're on the third floor or something. We look out and there's like nobody. We're like looking everywhere.
Yeah.
So then we're like being all stealth mode, like freaking out, trying to hide. And we like snuck out of there, but we never like found anybody or seen anybody or anything. And I'm telling you, like even a couple months after that, I just didn't like feel myself. And
Yeah.
it was so weird. Like I didn't turn into like a complete asshole. But, like I just didn't feel right. It was really strange. Like something attached itself to me or something. I don't know, but that was
Yeah.
like the only place. And then there was like rumors and stories about this place because, I look up a lot of history. I don't just go to these places. I also like try to look up the history and do my research. And, people claim like you never know what's true or what's rumors, but they say like, the priests were like touching the kids and
As
all this other
always.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So yeah, that was
So,
pretty wild.
yeah, was that like the only time that you kind of just like felt something or have you ever like seen something or had any other like I guess like paranormal type experiences like with being in a place that you felt like were that?
Not really. Like that really, that's like the only one that really sticks with me. I mean, I definitely, in some of my pictures I see like orbs and stuff like that, but it also could be like, dust
Dust.
and all that kind of shit too. So,
Yeah.
but and I mean, depending on where I go, I don't know if you see my post, my recent and my story. There's a funeral home, a freshly abandoned funeral home that I found,
Mhm.
and that's on my list. I still haven't actually been to a funeral.
Wow.
I've been to zoos. I mean, you name it, but I've never been to
Uh-huh.
like a funeral home. So that's gonna be coming pretty soon. Like when the weather breaks, I'm gonna check that out. But yeah, I mean, obviously hospitals, people die, stuff like that. So get a little out, and then the basements are always the creepiest, of course. And for some reason, there's always like pianos or like organs, like in these
Yeah.
churches and high schools and stuff like that. They're always like randomly like wherever. So
I'd be like waiting for
it's
one
kind
of
of
them to be
crazy.
like doo 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 or like make a noise. I'm freaking out. I'm surprised
Start
that you
playing on its
haven't
own.
had experiences like that, like more experiences. But like are you I guess like do you believe that all of that stuff is kind of real like with ghosts and things like that?
I I want to, yeah. I mean, I'm a big horror fan. Like
Mhm.
I love Stephen King, all that kind of stuff. I have Ghostface tattooed on my neck.
Mhm.
Pretty crazy. But yeah, I've always been big into like horror and paranormal stuff. So I
Yeah.
would hope, and of course, like when you're exploring, you'll hear noises, like because there's wind and pigeons maybe up in the rafters, stuff like that. But you'll hear like a bang or a door close. You're like, oh shit. So you definitely get like the scare factor to it. But I mean, like I said, I've
Yeah.
been doing it for years, and knock on wood, nothing crazy like in a bad way has ever happened. So
Yeah,
honestly, I
cuz
do got to say the one
honestly,
scariest thing that happened was that same high school I was talking about earlier, Horace Mann.
mhm.
This is maybe
The one where you heard like the
2019.
footsteps?
No, that
That was
was
a
the
boys
boys'
school.
school.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the high school in Gary, And 2020, I think it was like 2019 or 2020, I took a friend. And one of my other favorite things when I go to these places, like I'm a adrenaline junkie, like I said, so I always got to get to the roof. I'm like, I got to get to the highest point of these
Okay,
places.
game.
And so we're on the roof of this high school, and I've been up there 20 times or something. Because I've been there a bunch of times, and I'm going to climb up this ladder, like a metal ladder, up to the next level, and it actually like disconnected. And luckily, I was only on like a few rungs up, but like I kind of like had to catch myself and catch the heavy ass ladder.
Oh my
So
god.
like stuff like that, because obviously the older these places get, the more
Yeah.
decrepit they are, and they're falling apart more. So with the weather and this and that, so that was definitely on the list as far as being scary. And I'm like, okay, maybe I gotta hit the brakes a little bit on some of this. So
Yeah.
and I got a daughter now. My daughter just turned one, a few months
Yeah.
ago. So I
So
have,
now you have to
I
stay
gotta
alive now. You have to be
gotta
careful.
tone it down
Mm-hmm.
a little bit. And not
Wow.
to bring up, I actually this is kind of crazy. I had open heart surgery back in January actually.
Wow, for
Long
what?
story short, I had an aneurysm on my aorta, so they had to repair that, and they put a mechanical valve. So like I hear it ticking and shit. It's crazy, but
No
like I said, I'm
way.
doing a lot. I'm doing really good. I'm recovering. I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing my cardiac rehab and all that. But that's another factor. That's kind of why I've been holding off on going because I got to get 100% better. Obviously, I mean, I have energy and I'm more active, but I can't be like climbing in windows and shit right now. So,
Yeah.
but
Wow. Okay.
I still want to get back. Because like I said, this has been driving me crazy being trapped in the house the past couple
Mm-hmm.
months, and I actually I'm trying to plan a trip to New Orleans because there's a abandoned Six Flags down there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always been on my bucket list. And the only thing with that, my girlfriend, she's like freaking out because there's alligators and stuff because it's all like
Mm-hmm.
it's from Hurricane Katrina. That's why it's abandoned.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but I also want to go down there for all the cool spooky stuff and everything too.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be pretty
Alligators get
badass.
big.
But
Be careful.
yeah, that's if you don't hear from me, if I go down to that
It's the
trip, you'll know
alligators.
what happened.
Damn.
So
Wow. Well, I'm
yeah,
glad that you're
not like I
doing
said,
better
not
with everything, so that's good.
yeah,
Um,
appreciate it. And I just don't want to give it up because I'm an artist too. I draw and stuff. I always actually wanted to become a tattoo artist. I have a tattoo machine, but I never really like messed with it.
mhm.
It's never too late, I guess. But
Yeah.
and I don't even consider myself like a legit photographer. I mean, I've had a camera, I have a GoPro and stuff, but I use my iPhone most of the time. I call myself a wannabe photographer,
Yeah.
but
I feel like
just
it's
the
just
fact that I'm an
easier to have your
artist,
phone on you though.
yeah, exactly. And just being an artist, I guess I have an eye for it. So and I
Mhm.
definitely like you've given me compliments. I've had people from other countries that follow me and stuff, and it's really cool because people from overseas, they see that one church. Like I'm sure everybody knows about that church in Gary. It's like very famous, that really gothic one.
Yeah.
I've been there 100 times. That's hands down one of my favorite places. And I think people from other countries, they see that and they're like, damn, just how I see like castles and stuff over there that I like, my mouth drools. I'm like, I wish I could get over there and
Yeah,
check that out.
right.
So
Because I feel like it's kind of rare for like places out here to look really cool. Because like I feel
yeah,
like
definitely.
overseas there's like those huge like fucking churches and stuff like in Norway and things like that, and it's
Oh yeah,
like
there's
wow,
there's like
we just have
islands
a
and all
bunch
kinds
of
of
like
stuff.
random ass buildings. Like everything's just kind of basic over here, but
Yeah,
it's
so
nice.
and
It's nice to have something
architecture.
you can go to. Yeah, for
Yeah, and
sure.
I love architecture, so it's really cool to like see the way these buildings were back then, and you know, and even what's like the places in the jungles. I can't think of certain like Cambodia or something. I like those temple
Like those.
ruins and stuff like
Yeah.
that would be like, oh
Could
my
you
God, or
imagine
like
if
going
we
to
had things out
Egypt.
here? I'd be lost in the woods.
Uh,
There'd be no way because
uh,
I'd have to go
I
see
lose
it,
my mind.
right?
Yeah, so that'd be really cool. But I just pretty much like I said, I've been everywhere in Midwest, like Michigan, all over Indiana, up here and down south. Obviously Illinois, like Rockford, Chicago. So
Hmm.
try to expand. I know there's a place in the Ozarks I still haven't been yet. So I got a long list. I've been to a lot of places, but
Yeah.
there's still a lot
What
more
is
I want to check out.
what is the Ozarks? What is that? Sorry, I'm
So you never heard of the?
uneducated. No.
No, you're good.
I don't ever
There's a
know where
TV
I am
show
unless I use
even.
like a GPS and I'm
I'm
like, I don't know what is that.
I'm pretty sure it's in Missouri if I'm not mistaken, but it's
Hmm.
like this huge like just like where people go for it's like a lake, like huge lake, and like hiking and stuff. But I'm surprised you don't know, but I thought everybody knew. It's like a really
Yeah.
popular spot. They made a TV show about it with Jason Bateman, where it's like this whole drug runner thing. If you, I don't know if you're in the series, but I'm not really big, but that was actually a really good one.
Okay.
But it had to do with like the cartel and shit. But yeah, so I was like looking up, I found some research, and there's like an abandoned castle there in the woods, which is
Wow.
like in ruins. Like there's not really much left of it, but from what I pictures I've seen, it looks really cool. So
Yeah.
that's
I
another
will.
spot I want to check out.
I feel like I am more into just like watching people on YouTube like go exploring places because I'm like, there's no way
Yeah.
I would never like I would like send myself into like an anxiety attack and be like, I can't, I'm breaking down. But like I watch people go to places like, and that's enough for me.
I'm honestly
Yeah,
pissed that like I've been doing this for so long, and it's not like I'm like an old grandpa over here. I mean, I'm 37, but I don't know why I never kind of got into making videos and like a channel because probably would have blew up. And I mean, like I said, it's never too late, I guess, because I got the
yeah,
GoPro and all that. But that would have been really cool to, I mean, I have all the photos. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. I have some videos, but
yeah,
I still have like so many. I have like thousands that if I had the time, to still upload. I try to do every, once in a while and throughout the week, upload a couple. But
yeah. Sometimes it just takes
I'm
like a lot to like make posts and do things like as simple as it is to like just put a picture up. It's like kind of hard sometimes to do that. So that's
takes time
understandable.
and edit and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's something I don't want to give up. I want to get back to it and keep going.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
don't think you're ever too old to do stuff.
Right. As long as like you're
Passions.
motivated and it makes you feel good, I feel like it's always worth it to like do something that you're really into.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Do you feel like
So
you use it as like a form of like therapy for yourself? Like if you're frustrated or like overwhelmed with life at times, like before everything happened, do you feel like you would use that as a way to like make yourself feel better?
yeah, definitely. Honestly, it's kind of weird to explain because like I've had situations like that, where, like I'm just stressed out, like I gotta get the hell out or go do something. And I'm really big into nature. Like I love hiking, I kayak, I bike. Like I love being outdoors. That's why this weather's been pissing me off. It's like,
Oh my god,
come
I want
on,
to kill
it's
myself.
spring. Like
Please.
what's going
I don't
on?
want to deal with it anymore. It's been fucking snowing.
Like what the fuck?
It's gonna
Snowed the other
snow
day.
tomorrow.
Like
I'm done.
April. Like what's going on? So,
Right?
but I get this mindset where like I said, I do the research. I like to know about the background, but then I'm like, I try to just imagine almost like if I do go alone or something, just how it was, and I'll just even close my eyes or just try to envision. I guess I don't know. It's kind of cool. And I've also found like old photos of places, how they used to
Mm-hmm.
be. And there's a train station actually in Gary, the Union Station. It's another pretty popular one. A lot of people know about.
Mm-hmm.
And there's actually a short or like a clip on YouTube of a movie from the 1930s that they filmed there. So it's kind of cool because you get to see it in action, like
Yeah.
live, with actors and stuff. And I'm just like, holy fuck, because like you see it now and it looks like, fucking
Trash.
Armageddon. It's like the end of the
Yeah.
world. So that's kind of how Gary is. I mean, they are trying to turn around and do some, things and open new places, but I mean, the majority of it is, it looks like, the end of the fucking world. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So,
I
like, there
feel
might be
like
one block or one house on a block that's not vacant, and all the
yeah.
rest are like burned down or abandoned. So,
Yeah, it's
pretty
like
crazy.
rough to take a place that's been like completely trashed and everyone's moved out and everything's abandoned. It's like it's hard to get that up and going again because like everyone already like
It's
knows what it looks like, and even if not, they're just like, I'm not trying to mess with that kind of thing.
and the reputation and stuff, it's crazy. And
Yeah.
I used to be a UPS man, a mailman, and an Amazon man. Like I've done all those jobs, not at the same
Okay,
time,
Mr.
obviously.
Man. Okay.
Delivery guy, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I've worked all over, the county and stuff. But I mean, I did a lot of work in Gary, and that was another kind of cool thing because like I would find new places that way. So I'd be like, oh shit, I'm about to take a break real quick, pull over the truck, and go explore, get some pictures.
Yeah.
So that was always kind of cool. And like I said, I got to know the community. I got to know a lot of people, and Michael Jackson's from there. I don't know if you knew that. I think a lot
Why
of
did I
people.
expect you to say
I've
it
been
meant
to.
Michael Jackson?
Yeah, no, no. I have been to his house though, his childhood home. It's kind of crazy. I've got pictures of that too. It's
Yeah. Is that
pretty
still up?
insane. Yeah, so they got like an iron. They take care of it. It's all nice, and you
Oh
know
wow.
the
Okay.
yard's taken care of. They have a nice black iron, gate around it
Mm-hmm.
and everything. There's like padlocks. I mean, people from all over the world go there. It's kind of crazy. They like take pictures and stuff. And
Yeah.
little history on that. I guess they like 11 people lived in that house. I mean, if you see the house small is, it's like a 700 square foot house or something. It's insane. Like they all
Wow.
lived in that tiny house. And
Hmm.
so yeah, I mean, Gary's got a lot of crazy history. I mean, the steel mills, they call it the Steel City. That's how it all kind of became. The white flight, that's when like they say all the white people. I can't remember what year. Maybe it was the 50s or something like that. But it's crazy. A lot of immigrants came there, obviously, and it's got a lot of crazy history. And
Hmm.
it's still a diverse community too today. So I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you can't. Yeah, you have to go, I guess, to understand it or to see.
Yeah.
If you're an
Um,
outsider looking in, it's definitely, I guess, it'd be scary. But I mean,
yeah. I feel like it's just different, I guess, like for everyone, like, because if you're just going there, like, I would just visit places like where my friend lived, and I'd just like drive through. I was like, this is trash, but also like, okay, let's go walk and like get something to drink or do something.
well, yeah,
And
and they
then it
have good
was
ass
like not.
food too.
Yeah, it wasn't like
Like,
that bad, but like driving through, I'm like, this is garbage. But like, yeah, it's just like the people that you know and this and that. But like, just like driving through is like never.
yeah,
Yeah, but I mean,
a lot of
like, I
burn
live in
cruises.
trash, so it doesn't even matter. It's a trash neighborhood over here.
Uh, a lot of late night blunt cruises when I used to smoke. It was always a good time. Good place to go smoke and
Yeah,
all
I'm
that
like,
good
I feel like
stuff.
that's
So
everywhere. Everywhere there's somebody driving around
yeah,
smoking.
pretty much, especially nowadays. So
My
after the
God.
surgery though, I don't want to be straight edge, but I chose the sober life now. I'm getting older. I don't drink. I don't smoke anymore. And
Hmm.
honestly, it's nice. Like I don't miss it. I'm clear minded. I sleep good. All that good stuff. So now it's just weird though. I'm like, damn, now I can't go out with my friends or something. What am I gonna fucking drink water and look like that fucking loser?
Yeah, have a
But
cranberry juice. Makes it
yeah,
look
right.
like you're drinking, and then
Or one
just
of
like when you
those
take a
fake
sip, make a little bit of a
Heinekens.
face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same
I
thing.
never understood non-alcoholic beer or alcohol. I'm like, what the fuck is the
I'm
point
not
of this?
wasting
It's
my money
crazy.
on that. Give
It's
me a
it's
pop
insane.
instead, right? Like I used to see people because I used to work at Walmart like a long time ago. People would come in and just like buy cases of like non-alcoholic beer, and it was like,
Like
bro,
O'Doul's and shit.
yeah, what are you
It's
doing? Like
crazy.
I was just like, that's just I feel like it's a waste. Like you already aren't drinking, just chill.
Yeah,
Like
like
have
you say, you
something
might as well
bubbly,
drink
right?
pop or something. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm not wasting my money on that
So
because it's almost the same price as regular beer.
yeah.
Just chill
So
out.
but yeah, Gary though, I mean it's you want to talk about I mean I couldn't even come up with a number to be honest as far as how many abandoned buildings are there, but I mean probably hundreds of schools, hundreds of churches. There's an abandoned post office, the hospital we talked about,
Hmm.
that one high school, like it's one of my favorites. Like I said, really big high school. Crazy thing about that hospital, if it's the one you went to, it's actually connected to the active police station in Gary. So
Oh
the
my
building is
god.
actually connected to, which is really fucking wild because like we park right next to the police station every time we go. It's
Yeah. Oh my
pretty crazy.
god. I
But
could have been arrested.
yeah, so and that's not I mean, oh, I'm so glad I thought about this. I could like go on for hours. I have so many crazy stories. But
Oh, you're all good.
there I went with one of my friends, man, I don't know how many years it's been now, maybe 5 or so. I'll have to look at the photos to get the time, but there was a mental hospital in Rockford, Illinois. So I think it was a good 3 hour drive or something from where I'm at. And
Hmm.
I did a lot of research and like people were saying, security, blah, blah, blah. So there was a school we parked at. We kind of walked through this field to get there and amazing explorer. Like we were there for a couple hours, maybe more. There were still like some beds there and really a lot of good shots. I love like long hallways with the broken windows and stuff like that. It's always
Hmm.
really cool. And my friend, she was a tag artist, so she was doing her graffiti everywhere. Um, and I can't remember what the words that were supposed to be on the building, but it was like some metal lettering, and it was missing. It said like CLT, and it was missing the middle letter. And I think we put like a U to like put Colt or something like that. I don't remember.
Hmm.
But long story short, we were exploring everything, and the next thing you know, we did see a truck pull up, and we're like, oh shit. And we had to like do some Call of Duty shit where we're like ducking and trying to be quiet, and we had to like kind of loop around, and
Yeah.
the security guys like taking pictures of the tags and stuff and everything, and we're like, oh shit, and we got away. I don't know how, but we finally found a clearing. We just booked it. Like we ran for our lives,
Yeah.
and that's
Wow.
like that's what I'm saying. This shit's fun to me though. Like it sounds
Hmm.
crazy, but it's like when you have that adrenaline going, you're just like, holy shit, like it's unreal. I don't know.
Yeah. So
So
you've
and
like,
then I'm
go
well, I
ahead.
was just gonna say like going around the corner, I'm like, oh fuck, like is my car still there? Is my car still there? Did it get towed?
Yeah.
So it's just
Did you
like
end up just
and
like parking at like on a regular street or just like by the building
well,
or
yeah,
something?
I think it was some kind of school or something. Yeah, we just like parked on by the curb pretty much. There was like no parking or anything like that. But like I said, when you're places you don't know, you never know. So,
Yeah.
but like I said,
Wow.
knock on wood, I've gotten lucky a bunch of times. Another crazy story as far as like cars getting towed. So my ex and I, we went to this place in Richmond, Indiana. So
Hmm.
I think it was another couple hours away, and it's gone now. That's another thing I like about this is like I've been to some of these places and I know they're not going to be there forever. So I got to like explore it and get pictures, before it's like gone forever and forgotten. So that's kind of cool. But anyway, so we parked at this medical center actually. So the place we were exploring was this huge hospital, and it was partially like from the early 1900s, and then it had an add-on from the 80s. So it had like really old school looking part, and then it had like a more modern part of the hospital added on.
Hmm.
So, anyways, we park this medical place. We go down this hill and like we go over this through this clearing, and it's just this huge hospital. I'm like, oh my God, this is fucking awesome. So we're exploring for like an hour, getting pictures, all that good stuff. And I started getting this feeling. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I better go check my car real quick. So she like stayed there, and I hurried up, ran up the hill, and as soon as I cleared the hill, sure enough, there's a fucking tow truck like getting ready to hook my car up because apparently I guess it said like no parking or whatever at the parking lot.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like running, like, dude, like, no, and I talked him out of it, thank God, and he let me go. And I'm such an extrovert, crazy motherfucker that I
Yeah.
got in my car and I went down the street and there was like some houses. I like went to this house. I'm like knocking on this random door, and it's this little old lady, and I'm like, hey, I'm like, this is so random, and I'm like, I'm doing, I'm just taking some pictures, doing some photography. I was wondering if I could park my car here, and she was like, oh yeah, like no worries, and
Oh my
sure enough,
God.
I couldn't
Bless
believe it.
that
She like let me
grandma.
park there. I know. So
Yeah.
and I got to go back down
Wow.
and, spend another hour or whatever. So that was really cool. But yeah,
Damn.
it's
That's
wild.
crazy because right there I would have been like, we need to go. I'm going to be in the car. You need to find your way back. There's no fucking way. I
Uh,
can't knock on anyone's door. I'm freaking out. Wow. But I
it
guess
was
like
pretty wild.
everyone's
So
different. Everyone's different with things that like they're able to handle. I'm just like,
yeah, I mean,
I have my
you never
moments
know.
where I can.
Uh,
So,
like I said, depends.
yeah. So you never like got arrested or anything. It's always just been like kind of like close calls with stuff.
Yeah, like that, and then like the other one I just told you about. And so this one's kind of crazy, and I I don't know if you've met too many people that are gonna be able to tell you a story like this, and
Okay, let me hear it.
it's kind of got a little bit of a gross factor, but it's got like a funny factor. I don't know if you like police or not, but
You shit your
I'm
pants.
kind of well, no, no. So it
Okay.
doesn't have to do with shit though. But
Okay.
so this is so crazy. So we were, I think this might have been like an elementary school or something. It was definitely like a grade school or something like that. This is in Gary. I was with my ex again years ago. Can't remember, but I mean, a long time ago. And so we're in this place exploring and stuff, taking pictures, blah blah blah. And then it hit me, I mean, when you gotta go, you gotta go. Sometimes it happens. And
Mm-hmm.
usually when I'm doing this, you're prepared. You got like toilet paper, you got something with you, because you gotta be ready. Wipes,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the hell you got. Maybe you got some dude wipes. I don't know.
All right. All right.
But
Shout out, dude wipes.
there you go. So and like, I did my business. I think it was like the gymnasium or something like that. Just pop squat, did what I had to do, continued on my way, and we're exploring. And I don't know, maybe like another 20 minutes goes by or something. The next thing you know, there's officers, and they're like flashlights, you got like yelling, like, hey, like who's come out, like who's in here? So like, oh fuck, So we're not like vandalizing, we're not stealing, we're not fucking, tagging stuff. So we just like whatever. We come out, a couple officers, and they're talking to us and like what's going on, and we were showing them our pictures, like, oh, we're just here taking pictures, and they were actually pissed at us for not having guns because they were talking like, how many times we find dead bodies and blah blah blah, like you guys got to be careful doing this shit. So on the other officer though, he's like freaking out. He's lifting his shoe. He's like, God damn it. He's like, I stepped in shit, you know? And he's like checking his shoe. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like trying to keep a straight face. I'm like, you
Oh
gotta be
my
kidding
god.
me.
He
And
stepped in
he
my
stepped in my
shit.
shit. And he's like, I know this isn't dog shit. He's like, if I had fucking knew, you know, he was so fucking livid. And I'm just sitting
Oh
there like,
my god.
oh my God. And you can't make this shit up. And like, so yeah, so a cop stepped in my shit. It was,
Wow. And then let you go.
yeah, I mean, I guess unless you want
They
to
give
get
you
DNA checked, I don't know,
yeah, they give you like a parent lecture like you need to be safe out here. You could get hurt and then he's
it
stepping in your
was,
shit. Yeah.
it was nuts. So I can love to say
That's
that a cop
crazy.
stepped in my shit. Pretty crazy.
Wow.
So yeah,
Well,
but
that's interesting. I guess let me tell you a little story I have about a cop. He didn't step in my shit, but when I was younger, I think it was like 19 or 20 years old. I had went with my boyfriend at the time cuz he had to go do something. He was like getting a gun or like talking to like somebody about like ordering a gun at like this place that sells guns, right? And he's
yeah,
there talking to the owner and like his son comes in and his son is a cop, and then he's just like like bullshitting with his dad. He brings in like a six pack, he gives his dad one, he offers one to my boyfriend and he's like no, and he offers me one and I was like yeah, right, because like he didn't ask me for my ID or anything, and then he opened it up and like gave it to me and I was like I am drinking a beer gave to me by a cop and I'm not even 21 and I'm in a gun store. This is kind of cool. And I was just like
it's pretty
it
awesome.
was yeah, I was like sick.
Kind of
I had
surreal.
right, I was like wow, if you only knew. I drank the whole thing. He's like why did you take that? I was like come on, come on. I mean,
Could
he
have been a
didn't ask
setup.
me, right?
Yeah,
He arrests me right
it's
after I take the first sip. I'd be so
you're under
pissed.
arrest.
Yeah,
Crazy.
man.
Fun times.
Honestly,
So
that's so funny though.
yeah, I'll
Um,
never forget that. It's wild, but yeah.
wow.
So
um, so how you were saying, like when you go to places, you have to make sure that you're like always prepared. Is there like a list of things that are like mandatory for you that you always make sure that you have on you when you go somewhere?
yeah, so I mean, I should keep, bring a gun with me, but I don't. I'm kind of crazy. Maybe eventually I'll bring a piece with me. But flashlight, obviously, that's a given. You gotta have a flashlight. You never know you're gonna run into some pitch dark areas. Obviously, you want to have good boots. Waterproof or like nice sturdy boots because you're pretty much walking through all kinds of crazy terrain and mud and water and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Comfortable clothes, obviously. You don't want to be wearing your nice shit because you're gonna get dirty most of the time. Shit's
Hmm.
gonna get snagged, etc. Um, Snacks, obviously, gotta have snacks, water,
Snacks.
stuff to drink. Um,
Hmm.
if you like, I used to smoke. I was a huge stoner for 20 something years. Obviously, I had to have my weed with me.
Hmm.
That was always like go to. Camera, phone, obviously, need that. I'd have like a knife on me, stuff like that. Trying to think what else. Backpack. Gotta be
Yeah.
like Dora,
Backpack. Oh
Dora the
man,
Explorer.
don't get me started. I'll sing the whole song.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so just like a lot of the basic stuff.
Hmm. Uh, do you usually tell people where you're going? Like at least one person. Like let's just say if you're gonna go by yourself, or have you
Oh
started
yeah,
doing that as
definitely.
you got older?
Yeah, I mean, probably as I got older, more for sure. And I mean, the percentage of me going alone is pretty low, low. I've usually always gone with people, but like I said, I've had my handful of times. Like that time in Detroit, that was really cool and probably stupid in a way, but
Hmm.
I just took a random trip up there. On the way, this is actually really cool.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of people, I don't know if you know about it, but it's a prehistoric, I don't know, amusement park or something that like it's in Kalamazoo, Michigan, I believe. So
Hmm.
on the way to Detroit that day, I actually kind of figured out where that was and stopped off. And I'm like a dinosaur nerd. I'm
It's like
fucking
a
crazy with
dinosaur amusement
there.
park
Yes,
that's
so it's
abandoned.
in the wood. Well, it's in the woods, yeah, and it's kind of like it's just crazy. So you like hop this fence, and there's like the sign up there, and there's like it's like that really shitty like plaster pretty much. So there's like an old volcano that's all decrepit, and like a T-Rex that's fallen apart, and a bunch of other like paper mache dinosaurs that are all just like broken and vandalized, and it's really cool. I had to like, because like I said, I'm a huge dinosaur. I like Jurassic Park. Shout out.
Is it
I don't know
that
if you know the
dinosaur world
original.
place?
I don't know. It's called
Or
prehistoric something, but it's definitely it was something like in the 70s or the 60s that was open, and it was like a side. I guess before all these big highways opened up, like from what I read about it, that was like
mm-hmm,
really big attraction. Like on the way people were traveling would stop there with their kids, and
mm-hmm,
as the highways got built, less and less people and less traffic went through that way, so it just became less and less.
mm-hmm. Oh, I think you're cutting out a little bit. Hold on, let's see.
What is?
Oh,
What's
there you
that?
go. Oh, you were cutting out just a little bit, but you came back.
I had
Mm-hmm.
I had a call coming in, but yeah, well, she might be letting me know she was here. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
But
So we're taking the
my
podcast to the dinosaur world now.
yeah, yeah, no, because
That
like I
sounds so
said,
cool.
Jurassic Park. I'm sure. I hope you've seen the original 1993 movie, but I'm like
I'm
beyond
not an
obsessed with
uncultured
that.
swine. Yes, I have.
So yeah, I mean, still to this day, hands down. I mean, visually and everything. It's I don't. That'll be.
Wow.
We could actually do a whole. We should do a whole nother podcast on just Jurassic Park because, like I said,
Yeah.
it's. I'm like psychotically obsessed with it. I have like a
Okay.
half sleeve I'm working on
Yeah.
dedicated to the original and all that. So
Wow. I like a
pretty cool.
dinosaur. I do like going to the museum.
Yeah, I
Last
try
time
to
I
go to all
went
the
there, I
museums.
was like, I'm crying because I was like, Sue, that T Rex at
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I was like, oh my god, she had an infection in her mouth, and I was like standing there crying. I was like, Sue, I was sad.
yeah. It's pretty wild. But yeah,
That's
I've been to like all the
crazy.
try to go to the museums all around here too. There's actually like a couple of dinosaur dedicated museums. It's pretty cool. There's one in
What?
Wisconsin, Kenosha. I've been to. There's one in Indiana and South Bend. I went to recently. Really
Okay,
cool.
you're gonna have to
But
send me a list of these dinosaur museums because I fuck with the
yeah,
dinosaur. Favorite
definitely. But
dinosaur?
the raptor, obviously. I'm a
Hmm.
velociraptor.
I like a
Big
triceratops.
big
Okay.
raptor guy. So
Okay. We love a raptor.
yeah, getting off track though. So
Yeah.
that was my
So I just
that was
got
my little
excited.
stop off,
Yeah.
and we were talking about me going places alone. So I was like, I stopped there on the way to Detroit, and then I hit up Detroit. Now Detroit, that's like something. Like I said, I mean, compared to Gary, obviously it's another kind of rough area and stuff like that. But I mean, it would take like a week to explore Detroit. I mean, there's the abandoned Lion Stadium. There's like the Grand Central Station, the huge fucking like 90-story train station. Like I haven't been to that one,
That's
but
abandoned?
yeah, there's like so many things. But
What?
the
How long has
yeah,
that been abandoned for?
oh shit. I
Because that's
mean,
like one of like the main places, right? Like there's been like a bunch of like movies and shit that have
oh
been
yeah,
like, what the
that's actually what
fuck?
I'm leading up to next was because the place I went to alone, it's called Belle Isle Zoo. It's a abandoned zoo on an island up there in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
That went I think it shut down in the 70s or the 80s. I can't remember, but you gotta like hop a fence and go over this creek and stuff. Like it's crazy to get in there, but I got some really cool shots of that. It has really like cool, pointy, like roofed arch kind of things in there and stuff. And it's actually a unique zoo because the animals were all below you. You actually walked on a catwalk like way up in the air, and you would look down on the animals. So,
What?
and like half of the walkway is like missing, so you got to kind of like jump to each piece of wood and shit. It's so crazy, but
That sounds like a game.
yeah, it was insane. So they
That's
actually filmed
nuts.
a movie there. I don't know if you're
Okay.
familiar with Real Steel with Hugh Jackman.
Uh-huh.
That
No
robot fighting
way.
movie. That scene where they're in that crazy like cyber or like steampunk looking place
That big
with those
place like where they're
crazy
like
roofs.
fighting.
They're outdoors, yeah, and they're like all that with those crazy like roofs. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah,
What?
they filmed that
Yeah.
scene there. So that's another thing I love about this is I go to these places and I'm like, oh shit, they filmed this movie like in Gary in Chicago. Obviously, they filmed some of the Transformers movies at some of these places, like the church, and there was a deleted
Yeah.
scene in the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, actually, the Freddy movie that they remade, which I not a fan. Like I thought it was trash to me, if I'm giving my honest opinion.
Uh-huh.
But there was like a boiler scene. I think it got removed out of the movie. It was like a deleted scene, but they actually filmed some of that in the abandoned church in Gary.
What?
So that's kind of cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
And you learn that kind of stuff like before you go there, like when you're looking at places.
Yeah, I try to do some research. Like another place in Detroit that I've been, it's St. Agnes. It's a huge church. I mean, I love the church in Gary that I was telling you about, but this
Hmm.
one like blows it out of the water. It's like three times the size. It has that really beautiful mosaic, like the people would like wash part of the floor so you could see like the colorful stone and stuff with like the crosses and all that. And from what I did on the research there, I actually was standing in the same spot Mother Teresa was in 1980, speaking to like 1,000 people. So I mean, I'm standing like holy shit, like I'm standing right where Mother
Wow.
Teresa was, like. So a lot of these places have some really crazy history for sure. There's
Yeah.
a hospital in Detroit that was like very big, during racism and all that, like segregation. It was like a all white hospital or some shit, like
Hmm.
just crazy shit, like a lot of crazy history. So
Yeah. So do you feel like it kind of like interests you more because you like the history side of things? Like if you were just to like
yeah,
go places that are just abandoned that have no kind of history, do you feel like those aren't as good as like the ones that do have like a lot?
I think they're all equal to me. Like I like them all, but it definitely intrigues me more if it's got some background to it and stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean, it's you always find that random chair too. I gotta get the badass chair shot of like just the solo chair sitting somewhere, or like,
Yeah.
and I'm always
Yeah.
looking for like cool stuff where you don't get to experience. It's not like you get to go to the morgue, like you got to try to find the morgue because I'm like, oh fuck, I get to explore this freely, or like the confessional booths or something. I don't know because I don't go to a church and give
Yeah.
out confession,
Do you
so
sit
it's
in there and
like
pretend like you're doing a confession? Is that part of it?
I might,
Because I would
I might
definitely
have.
do that. Okay. You have to have your friend sit
So
on the other side and you're doing some crazy shit.
so
Yeah.
it's interesting. I mean, you get to see a lot of cool stuff. You find like the kitchen, or I just remembered another really cool random place I found when I sometimes when I'm like far away from home, I'll like try to research and find places that are close by.
Hmm.
And this is actually outside of Chicago. It's called Ebenezer's something splash and like water park. It's some silly, goofy fucking name, but
Hmm.
it's an abandoned water park in the middle of the fucking woods. So I
Not
got
called
shots of that
Ebenezer. What the fuck?
I swear to God, I'm like,
That's
what
such
the
like
fuck
an
is this?
old
And
guy
it's
name.
yeah, and
Hmm.
so it's like all these slides like overgrown by trees and stuff. It's so fucking cool. You can see like the old tile to like where the pools were and stuff like that. So it's just like finding ruins. It makes me think of maybe I'm weird or cynical, but it's like I don't hope for like the end of the world, but like if I was like one of the last few people, it's just that feeling of like I don't know, just like damn, like this is what used to go on here, and here I am now, like
Yeah.
exploring it. I don't know. It's
It's kind of like it's like the
interesting.
end of the world, but also you're not like starving to death. And like I
Yeah,
could go home and chill after this kind of thing, but it's nice to see like
exactly.
where there's no one around. Like you don't have to worry about like running into someone or someone being like, "Hey, don't touch
Yeah.
that or don't do this." Like you just have like your own time. So I totally get it.
The other beautiful thing about it is like I try to see the beauty in all this decay and stuff, but it's like at the end of the day, the Earth is always gonna Mother Nature is always gonna win. It's always gonna take over. Like I mean, I've seen trees growing through fucking roofs, of some of these
Yeah.
places, and like plants in certain places. I'm like, how the fuck did this happen? So it just goes to show, no matter what we do here on this planet and what we build or what it's always gonna win in the end and take back over.
Yeah. That's like another crazy thing about it cuz like a lot of like the places that you go are like big buildings and things like that. And it's like you wouldn't think that that was like destructible at all, right? It just kind of
Yeah,
seems like that's just huge, it's too heavy, it's all cement or this or that, and then it's like you said, like you're seeing plants and trees growing inside, and it's nuts. It's nuts to
it's
see how
wild. Yeah,
strong nature is in that way.
yeah, and I love like different lightings. Like you'll go in a room that maybe is missing half the roof, or like I don't know. It's just really, and then like the colors. Like sometimes that wall had a crazy like teal or green or something. It's like I don't know.
Hmm.
You just see all kinds of crazy stuff. And there's a Palace Theater in Gary on Broadway that's very popular. I think Michael Jackson possibly performed there back in the day.
Hmm.
But it's like it's so bad. You can't even go in there though. It's like so dangerous and so bad now. But there used to be this beautiful painting, like huge, of like man, I can't remember if it was like Italy or something like that. But it, like the sky and everything. And now it's all like you can't even barely tell what it is anymore, obviously.
Oh, it was like on
But
one of
there
the
was a
walls.
yeah, like huge, like the whole. I mean, and you gotta imagine how tall the ceilings are, obviously in the theater and stuff. So
Yeah.
like this whole scenery, and there was apartments upstairs, so we were like checking out the apartments. This is when you could actually still kind of get in there before it was like falling apart. And I remember seeing like beds, in these rooms, and I'm like, wow, like someone used to live here. And then there's like this pink light switch cover, on one of the lights. So I'm like, maybe this was a little girl's room or something. It's just
Yeah.
crazy. You see these things, and there's definitely like creepy dolls sometimes, and like
It's
shit,
always the
in different
ceramic
places.
ones. They're
Yeah,
cracked a
definitely, or
little
like
bit. They
stuffed
have a weird
animals.
dress. Yeah.
Definitely. And I think people like fuck around sometimes and they'll purposely like leave shit certain places to fuck with people. Kind of like you were
Yeah.
saying, like the seance stuff, like potentially. And I'm not saying I'm sure there are people that do some fucking crazy seances and stuff in these places, but thank God I haven't run into them. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Um, do you like, because I see like on like your Instagram, I'm looking at it just to refresh myself, but like when you're taking pictures, do you ever like set up things? So like let's just say I found a chair and it's laying over there, but the lighting's kind of sick over here. Do you ever like move furniture and like move things around so you can take like a better picture?
it's pretty rare. I try to just get that raw, like how it is. But I mean, probably a handful of times I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of move some stuff, yeah. But most of the time, you just like see, you're like, oh shit, like catches my eye.
Yeah,
It's like perfect timing and stuff. So,
I get
yep.
it. Yeah. So you have like this one picture on here and it looks like a huge safe door. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's a bank actually, an abandoned bank on Broadway in Gary. That
Wow. So
place is
like
pretty
that's
cool.
like actually inside of like the place that they'd like keep all the money and stuff.
Yeah, that was the vault. You can kind of, if you look in like
Um,
towards the back, you can see like all the safety deposit box and stuff, like all lined on the
yeah,
wall.
that's
That place is
crazy.
pretty cool. It was burned pretty bad though, so like, there was only so much we could explore in there, but yeah, it was a
Mm-hmm.
long time ago.
Did you try to close that door?
No, I didn't want
Okay.
to fuck with it. Next thing you know, I'm locked inside of an abandoned building.
It like falls on you. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no good. So.
Um so I know you had said like earlier that you almost fell when like you were climbing on that ladder. Have you ever hurt yourself, like actually hurt yourself going to some of these places?
Nothing like severe. I mean, I might have like lightly like twisted an ankle, like nothing crazy, or
Hmm.
gotten cut on something, or and my ex actually stepped on a nail once. That kind of sucked. That kind of ruined the rest of the
Oh
day.
my god. Did
Yeah,
you guys keep
good thing
going
she
or
has.
like how far did it
Uh,
go
we,
and
I think a
her
little
fault?
bit, but it was like winter, so there was like snow and shit too. So we're like,
Put in
we'll
the
just call
snow.
it a day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Um
nothing major. Thank God. You
yeah.
know.
Do you try to like wear gloves like when you're out?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, depends, I guess, but
Hmm.
try to keep covered. I mean, some of these places are pretty nasty. You got to imagine like the asbestos and mold, and because that's another thing, you'll never forget the smell of some of these places. I mean, you name it, from like dead animals to mold, or I definitely wear mask. That's another thing I forgot to add to the list
Yeah.
that you asked me earlier. I definitely want to like bring masks depending on where you're going and stuff too. So
Yeah. For sure, because I
definitely.
was like, I don't know, I would just freak out. I just overthink about everything.
Yeah, you definitely
Um,
can't do that too much when you're exploring.
yeah. How do you feel since you have a baby, right? Um,
Yeah,
like when you have a daughter, right?
yeah, she's a
What
little
if
over one.
what if when she gets older, she's like, I'm trying to go out somewhere crazy. Would you take her out on like a
Oh,
little
I'm.
trip for the
That's
first time?
actually that's one of my favorite things about being a dad. Like I love being a new dad, and I can't wait to like. I'm not gonna like force my stuff onto her, but I can't wait to like hopefully show her all the kind of shit that I do, like kayaking and hiking and all that. And then I definitely that's one of my biggest things. I cannot wait to open her mind up to this, like show her and be like, oh, you like let's go some places, and even if I'm
Hmm.
like 50 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
So hopefully my ticker's still doing good, and
Yeah.
yeah, my back's not hurting.
Right? I feel like
But
that's like
yeah,
one of the
I'm
biggest
excited.
things that like especially like a daughter. I feel like
Yeah,
anything that
pass it
like
down.
yeah, your dad is into, you're just like, "Oh, whoa, like you're cool. I want to do what you're doing." Like it sounds really interesting,
Yeah,
especially like if you tell her about like these nice places that you've been to and like crazy experiences you have. I feel like she's definitely going to
definitely.
like want to get into something like that too.
She already likes cars and dinosaurs, so I'm heading in
She's
the
a
right
cool kid.
direction.
I
And then
like
another thing
that.
too. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, like, I like that now for girls, they have like dinosaur prints and stuff, but like
Yeah,
they'll be like
yeah,
on
for the
pastel
clothes and
pinks
stuff.
and like purples and everything. I thought that
Yeah,
was
it's
so
awesome.
cute. Yeah, because like I feel like when I was younger, it was always just like only boy stuff that had dinosaurs
Aimed
on it.
towards boys, yeah,
Yeah,
for
and now
sure.
it's like there's glitter dinosaurs, and I'm like, I need a baby. I need to put a baby in
Yeah,
some dinosaur shit.
her grandparents got her like this cute pink like dinosaur sleeping bag kind of thing. I was like, hell yeah, it's awesome.
That's cute. Go
But
camping now.
yeah, that's yeah. I got my tent and everything too. I love camping. I can't wait to get that going. But
Yeah, for sure.
but no, and then even the fact that these places might not be here anymore.
Hmm.
Obviously, like by the time she gets to that age and stuff like that. So it's really cool. Actually, speak of the devil, they just got here.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so we can keep going. But yeah, the like I was saying, it's really cool thinking about that. Like, that's the other thing about this. I actually got sad the other like a few weeks ago because I heard a rumor that that church got demolished,
Which
and I
one?
had to hurry up like the one in Gary on Seventh and Washington,
Hmm.
like that Gothic church, St. Mary's, or I think it's called, or something like that. And I like freaked out. I had to like drive out there to see with my own eyes, and I was like, oh my God, it's still there. Thank God.
Yeah. Was it on April
Because it's
1st? Did they get you?
no, it was a little before that. But
Okay.
I think about that though, I'm like, damn, like I get attached to some of these places. I'm like, they're memories I make there, and they're really interesting. And I actually have a canvas made of one of my shots of the church I took. I got hanging up in my dining room, and
Wow.
I even have like a piece of stone that I took from there. It was like really cool. It's like this like thin piece of like some kind of rock that's like really cool looking.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's like, I mean, obviously these places aren't going to be here forever, so I mean, and then obviously there's going to be more to come as the future goes.
Yeah.
So bringing her up into it, it'll be kind of cool, and then I can show her like, oh, this is where this used to be, or etc.
Yeah. Are there places that you feel like are your favorite kinds? Like, do you like more like of industrial buildings, houses, like, churches,
Yeah,
things like that? Like,
it's
what's
kind of
the.
a mix, but I definitely like more of a place that has some kind of cool background, like an abandoned police station would be cool, or like fire station, or a mall, which I that's on my list. I still haven't been to an abandoned mall. That'd be really cool. But
Yeah.
I mean, there are like how when it comes to houses, like obviously the bigger the better. Like I still haven't found any like really cool mansions or anything like that.
Hmm.
So I've like seen some that I've seen online and shit, but I've never actually found some. I was actually driving through, man, I think I was in Illinois or something, and I was with a friend, and we were heading back towards home. And once again, I was just researching random places we wanted to go. And some basketball player, I can't remember his name, but his abandoned mansion wasn't too far away. So we're like, fuck, let's go, do a little detour. So we go there, and sure enough, it was gone though. It was already
Oh,
demolished. And I'm like,
damn.
damn. So I got all hyped up, and then I'm like, damn it. So I mean, that happens sometimes. You
Hmm.
kind of take a roll of the dice, and you
Yeah.
never know 100% if you can believe what you look up. Like, oh, is it still there or not? So
Hmm.
stuff like that.
When, so like, I know you say that like you look up different places. Do you just like go on Google and just like abandoned places near me, or like how do you find it?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, it's
Are
it's
you
it's
like on
complicated. And
Reddit or
then
something?
I've used Reddit a little bit, but a lot of these times too, people don't want people to know about it. It's like kind of
Yeah.
a forbidden thing because you don't. The more people that go, the more they're gonna fuck it up, or the more people, they're gonna like
Hmm.
ruin it for everybody else. So it's kind of hard sometimes. Honestly, it's difficult to just type it in and look for it. You got to really know your shit. You got to be seasoned. Like been doing this for a long time, and you kind of figure it out. And then when you find one thing, especially if you hit a city like Gary or something, you hit like a jackpot, and you don't even got to look. I mean, you look a block down and you find another spot. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So there's actually a city in Illinois. I think it's Cairo, Illinois, or something, and
Hmm.
dangerous as fuck. But it's like an entire abandoned city, but I heard it's like definitely a murder capital area. So I haven't made my way over there
Oh. Yeah. I was like,
but
I don't know. I know. I feel like I've heard of that name, but like, I don't think I've ever been around there. I know
yeah,
that
Illinois has a lot
there's,
of places.
yeah, there's like a place not too far from over here. It's like Ford Heights or something, and it's
Okay,
like everything over there is abandoned. All I feel
I
like
think
all
I
there is
yeah,
over there is like churches and like liquor stores and like
like
half
Chicago
of the
Heights, like by the Ford plant and stuff.
yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah,
over there, and it's just like
I know what you're talking about.
everything's fucking abandoned over there. And I'm like, this is garbage. But like, honestly, I'm like, ooh, I would never want to go in there because I'm like, there's too many people that are drunk outside, and I don't
Yeah,
want to fuck
it's
with it.
just driving through there. I definitely get that vibe and stuff. But
Yeah,
yeah, so
I could not.
yeah,
Do you have any other, I guess, like stories or whatever that you'd like to share? Because I feel like we've kind of like went through everything. Um,
yeah. No,
Answered a
I'm
lot
just
of
trying to
good
think.
questions.
For sure. I hope it seems like this is a good show. It was a lot of
Yeah.
fun. I'm known to talk a lot, so I didn't want to like do too much. I mean, that's
Oh
a good
no,
thing, a
you're
bad
good.
thing sometimes.
Yeah, you're
But
good. You could talk
trying.
as much as you want. I got nothing but time. I just like wanted to
I
like
got you.
ask you like all these main questions, things that I was interested in because like I said,
Yeah,
I've only gone to one place and
yeah.
I am actual baby, so there's no way I'm going to anywhere else. I'm just going right onto
I got you.
YouTube.
I mean,
Yeah.
shit, I've even thought about like jokingly, like about even charging people on to take them on tours, be like, hey, like hop in, let's fucking go. But I mean, I'd also not just to make a profit, but I mean, even if you or any friends that I make and stuff, I love taking people to play, showing them new places and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it's fun, Like I said, there's a post office. I don't know if I brought that up. There's an abandoned post office in Gary.
Hmm.
I mean, you name it. But
Did you go in the
trying to
post
think what
office?
else. Yeah, I've been there. It's been a long time.
Was
That's
there a
another
bunch of
thing. After
mail?
no,
Okay.
it's pretty cool though because you get to see. Even though I told you I was a mailman, so I kind of already know how it all goes. But it was cool to see like the old school system, and they had like a basement where the chutes would go down, and I guess like that's how the mail would it would go down these chutes and all this kind of stuff. So,
Yeah. Wow, okay.
there was another cool building that's gone now. It was the Performing Arts Center that was a few blocks from the post office in Gary,
Hmm.
and there used to be this pink fucking piano, and I have pictures of it. I'll have to post it on my page. Like I said, I have an old laptop from like 2013,
Hmm.
and I mean, there's probably another thousand fucking pictures on there from
Yeah.
places I've been. So I'm in the process of getting all that transferred over so I can upload more stuff. But yeah, it was so cool because it's like this huge open area with like these nice staircases on each side. Some of the staircases were missing on either side. There's just random pink, bright ass pink piano just sitting in the middle of the place. And then you go
That's
upstairs
hot.
and the ceiling's completely gone, so it's completely overgrown. There's like trees and shrubbery, and there's like this old school like stone water fountain built into the wall, and like it feels like you like walked into a fucking
Whoa.
book or a movie or something. It's so cool. But that,
And a pink
unfortunately,
piano? That's so
yeah.
random. Yeah.
And like car tires, there's like car tires all over the place. And
Yeah.
that place is gone though, sadly. That place got demolished. So, like I said,
Hmm.
it's only a matter of time. Even there's a block with these three schools. It was like elementary, middle school, and high school. Emerson, I think it's called. They actually found some dead bodies there. I did see an article recently that those are going to get demolished because, they're talking about building new houses and this and that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's only a matter of time before shit like this happens.
Oh.
Um, there's somebody new I feel like a dick because I can't remember their name. Somebody I found on YouTube I started following
Hmm.
that do the similar things that I do. And there's actually a part of Route 66 in Chicago, like going through Chicago, that's abandoned. It's right
A
by
part of the
the
road?
yeah, it's by the quarry, I guess, like that big stone quarry that's like over the highway or something like that.
Yeah.
But the video is pretty cool.
Oh.
I mean, it's nothing like crazy special, but it's just this long ass strip of abandoned road with like trees growing through it, and it's pretty dangerous. I guess that's why they had to stop, shut that part of the road down because it started becoming like the ground underneath was starting to like erode and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So it was just becoming dangerous for cars to go over. So they had to like reroute Route 66. So I thought that was really
Wow.
cool, and I might check that out eventually too, just to
Yeah.
maybe make a video or something. It'd be pretty cool to check out.
Yeah. I
I mean,
definitely
it's
think
it's
you should
everywhere.
start trying to make some videos. Like, I feel like the editing time. would be like a lot, but like I feel like it'd be like super interesting just to like see
It'd be
where
worth
you're
it.
going. Yeah.
And like I said, I got the
And
GoPro, so I mean, I got the equipment to make some pretty cool videos
yeah,
for
that'd be
sure.
nice. Do you have you ever taken any animals with you? Like you ever have like a dog or something, or like anyone that you're with
No,
ever bring a dog?
it would be pretty cool though. And I mean, there was definitely a ton of stray dogs, so that was another thing. You got to be careful, or like the stray pit bulls. And when I was a mailman, I dealt with a lot of that too. And all they give you is this bunk ass little pepper spray, which never saved me.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
yeah, they would be. I have a cat actually. I got this like tuxedo, fluffy tuxedo cat,
Okay,
but
we love a cat.
she's a little pain in the ass though. I don't think she'd I don't know. Oh, speaking of animals though, that's kind of crazy.
Uh-huh.
My ex and I, which she actually has the cat now, but there's a
Okay.
high school named Lou Wallace in Gary, but it got demolished a few years ago. We were exploring like 2016 or something like that, and pictures and all that stuff, like I say. And we hear like meowing, we're like, what the hell? So we're like searching around. We found this little calico kitten, and we snatched her ass up and took her, and we named her Lou, actually, after Lou Wallace, like the high school.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. She actually like got stuck under my seat of my car because like we got her in the car and she was all scared. So we had to like take her to the animal shelter
No.
and they had to help us, get her out.
Yeah.
And we kept her and she ended up being cool. And I used to hate cats. It's so funny because I was like so anti-cat. Like I just growing up, they attacked me and shit. I was like, I hate these
Mhm.
fuckers.
Cats
More
are
of a dog
wild.
guy, but I just don't have time for a dog or the space at the moment. Um, but anyways, yeah. So long story short, I kept, when my ex moved out, I kicked her out or something. I kept the cat, and she got all pissed, and then she came back, and then she ended up stealing the cat from me one day when I was at work
Oh
when she
my
moved, and I'm
god.
like, unbelievable. But we went our separate ways, and I got over it, and
Yeah.
now I have Pulse. That's the new one,
Yeah.
and I found her actually not at an abandoned place, but I found her outside of a bar when she
Mhm.
was a kid, and she's gonna be
Wow.
4 this year, so
How
pretty cool. Shout out to
cute.
Pulse.
Yeah. Well, at least you still have a cat, so that's good. That's nice. It's always good to
Yeah,
have like an
so
animal, support
They
animal.
they grew on me, and my daughter and her are hilarious. They chase each other all over the house and everything. So
Yeah. So it's like a
she
playful
start,
kind of cat. It's not one of those asshole
yeah. I mean,
ones.
she's definitely. I got some stories about her too. She can be a bitch, but
Mhm.
she uh she's cool though when it comes to the kids. She knows, and yeah, so they get along and good stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to think though,
Wow.
as far as abandoned. I mean, God, I've been to so many places. And I know, like
Because you
leading
said
up
like your
to
favorite
doing
one
this.
was like the dinosaur one so far, right?
Well, I mean, it
One of
was
the
cool
top
as hell. I
ones.
mean, but it was just the fact that it wasn't really a building. It was more so like a remains of a amusement park kind of.
Hmm.
It was cool, but I gotta say, like that a lot of the churches I've been to and like schools, the more rooms and the more levels, the more floors, the better. I guess I love a good like and then you don't know if you're gonna get lost. You gotta like figure out like the bigger the
Yeah.
better, like, and the taller the better. I guess that's
Yeah. Oh, I
more
do have a
my
question though. So you said that eventually, if you're able to make it out there, you want to go explore like the abandoned Six Flags, right?
yeah, New Orleans.
Yeah. So if you were to get out there, are you planning on like, is there like still roller coasters and stuff that are up?
Yeah,
Like
it's
you planning on
I've let
climbing some of those?
I mean, to be continued, I guess. I mean, I told you, it's like and it's hard because, like I said, I got a lot to live for, and this shit can be
Yeah.
dangerous. And I feel like I have, gotten lucky a bunch of times. But I've watched a lot of videos, of this because like I said, I like to see what it's kind of like when I'm getting myself into, and
Hmm.
like the two things I've seen, like the gators, because it's a lot of flooded water,
Hmm.
especially depending on how the weather is and stuff. So the gators kind of get in there, and then I have seen some of these guys go all the way, climb up the top of these roller coasters and stuff. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you got to do it
I
for the
forgot you said
shot.
the Gators. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. It's been pulling at me for years. I'm like, God, like I just been wanting to go so bad. It's definitely one of the big spots on my list. So
Yeah. I
I
forgot
have a
about
lot
the
of
Gators,
time.
but I was like, I'm excited to know if you do go there. I'm like, I'm excited to see the pictures from like up above
Yeah,
it.
no, definitely. And
But like,
I
don't
have
get
all this time
eaten,
off
you
of
know?
work. So it's like it's almost the perfect time. Like, I'm waiting on some money to come in and stuff, and I'm like, oh. it's not too bad of a trip. Take a little road trip down there, and
Yeah.
definitely want to try to get, a friend or two to go with. I mean, that'd be pretty wild to go by myself, but yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's definitely on the list. As of
All
now,
right.
though, just for what people, if people are going to check out my page, I want to kind of give myself a little shout out. It's Midwest
Yeah, for sure.
Exploring. So am I? But the E's are threes. I don't know if you, or I don't know if you put links in
Yeah, I
your
can put like a
podcast.
link and
So,
everything once we post the episode. Tell everybody where to
yeah,
find you, but you can go ahead and tell them.
yeah. So just Midwest Exploring. All the E's are threes, and it's actually like it's kind of hard to explain. It's like Midwestexplore, or no, Ring. I think I don't even know my own
Yeah,
name.
let me see. Let me see what it is. All right. MIDW3ST3XPLOR 3RING.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I try to do like I'll post like a story if like I said that funeral home's the newest one to come up pretty soon. So I'm hoping within this week or this weekend I'm gonna check that out and get some new pictures and footage to
hmm
upload. So try to like let people be prepared what I got coming up. But that as of now, New Orleans is definitely hopefully on the list coming up. But as of now, funeral home
Yeah.
that's gonna be the soonest one. So
I'm
yeah, I'm trying.
excited
I
though. It's gonna
mean,
be great.
yeah, no, definitely. And like I said, I definitely there's a bunch of other topics I would love to be on, another time if you want to have me and talk about all kinds of shit. So I was checking out a few of your other podcasts. They're funny, they're interesting. So
Thank you. Yes,
can
but it
relate
would
to
be
some
nice
of
to
them.
have you on another time. Always down for a good conversation. We do a bunch of different things in here. It's usually just me, but I do like to have a guest on here. It's always fun. I feel like it makes it easier because when I'm doing it by myself, it's just me talking nonstop, and I got to make sure like
Nonstop,
I'm having no dead air. Because I try not to
yeah,
do like a lot of editing with it, but it's always nice. I like having somebody on so I can like breathe for a second, ask a question, and we can
definitely.
like go back and forth. So that's always fun. But
Yeah,
it's been
I
really nice to
gotcha.
have you on. Thank you for
Yeah, for
sharing
sure.
with us. Definitely
I'm
gonna
sure
tag
there's
you
some
and
things
everything.
oh yeah, I'm sure I forgot about some things. Like I said, I mean, over that span of the amount of years I've been doing it, I mean, I told you most of the good stories, though, like the funny and the crazy ones, and
The shit story, top one.
yeah, that one will never be forgotten. So,
Yes.
but yeah, definitely it was nice meeting you, and yeah,
Yeah,
can't
for
wait till
sure.
next time.
Thanks for being on with us. We'll talk to you guys later.
All
Bye.
right, take care, everybody.